4th of July weekend, 2017. It was on this day that there would be no mistaking it for anything other than anomalous. No less than 231 park attendees lost their lives that Sunday.
Oh, sorry there, Mr. Happy Hippo.
Notable instances of anomalous deaths include a young couple that, after riding through the Tunnel of Love, became fused together. A horrible mishmash of flesh and bone. Their organs were unable to sustain both bodies, and they promptly died. The autopsy of their bodies discovered no obvious mechanism as to how they were fused. Riders of the Thriller Chiller were all decapitated by blunt force. Witnesses report that the deaths did not occur simultaneously, but in groups of two, starting with the front row of seats and ending with the back. Forensic analysis indicate that each set of deaths corresponded to a loop or turn in the roller coaster's tracks. One park goer was able to dislodge themselves from their harness and escape from the out-of-control ride. Unfortunately, they could not fly. On the Ferris wheel, a motor went into overdrive, increasing the speed to its top limit and beyond. These dangerous speeds flung passengers to their doom. It then came to a complete and sudden stop. The whiplash killed many passengers, with only a minimal amount of people surviving the ordeal. These survivors had to be extracted from their cabins by MTF personnel. At the waterslide, several individuals went down but never came out the other side. Their bodies were found inside, in a condition that resembled ground beef. MTF teams were able to retrieve DNA samples that were then matched to missing park attendees. This process is still ongoing. Perhaps most strangely of all is the case of the park's clown. Seemingly without reason, the clown is said to have inflated themselves and drifted off into the sky, the only eyewitness being one young boy. This account has been called into question as maybe an exaggeration by the child. No body of a clown has been found, indicating there may be some truth to this account. One individual was found dismembered inside the House of Mirrors attraction. Their left arm was found 16 feet to the north from the torso. Several other victims were found within the House of Mirrors, presumably also the victims of Subject 79. After Foundation personnel were alerted by agents and local law enforcement, Mobile Task Force Row 71 Origami Toads was sent into the site to assess the situation and carry out containment procedures.
Good day, agents. This week's SCP Animated is sponsored by Keeps. Did you know 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35? With Keeps, you can get ahead of your hair loss with a custom treatment plan that's shipped directly to your door. When you subscribe to Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right treatment plan for you. Then, Keeps will send you a new supply of your treatment every 3 months. It's that simple. I've been using Keeps for ages. What? You didn't think this luscious coif cultivated itself, did you? What I love about Keeps is that they make it easy to ask questions and get answers. I can message my Keeps doctor 24/7 with any questions or concerns. But it's important to act fast. Keeps treatments typically take between 4 and 6 months to start seeing results. So, if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/SCP or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/SCP. Now get out of my office.
Alright, bring it in. Keep your eyes open. We have no idea what we're walking into.
As they explored the freshly abandoned amusement park, trying to discover who or what was behind these violent deaths, soldiers began to inflict harm upon themselves in graphic and frankly horrible ways.
All units engage Protocol AIOTA. Get those ears covered, boys. Jesus!
Additionally, Subject 79 was reported to have caused multiple deaths within the same time frame. It is unknown if the individual in the Happy Hippo suit is cognizant to their actions or not.
We need to get the hell out of here! Full retreat! Full retreat! Carry your comrades out! No one gets left behind!
After losing over 50% of its personnel, the Origami Toads withdrew their forces. Containment protocol was switched from retrieval to on-site securement. Standard media blackout procedures were carried out, including a cover story in which toxic corn dogs resulted in the deaths of 253 people.
Site Director Zolgamax submitting for O5 approval destruction of SCP-823. Requesting immediate action from MTF New 7 to bomb the site from orbit and eradicate this highly dangerous SCP. The reasons for this should be obvious. With no clear way to contain the SCP or discover its origin, I believe we should eliminate it to be safe.
The civilian population is far too close to the site for this to be safe.
And there would be no acceptable cover story for this. It is too brazen and too bold.
In addition, there's much we can learn from this SCP. The potential for discovery is limitless.
Your proposal is denied, Director Zolgamax. Continued containment will be our primary method of dealing with this SCP.
I must protest this decision.
Noted.
SCP-823 is to be secured by no fewer than 6 on-site personnel until such time as decontamination protocols can be established and the artifact in question neutralized. Personnel must respect the safe zone around the current established red zone at all costs. Any individual, civilian or not, who enters the established red zone is to be terminated immediately by sniper fire. Should music or piping be heard emanating from within the red zone, Foundation personnel on site are to immediately don protective earplugs and withdraw from their secondary perimeter, and inform Foundation scientific personnel immediately. Following the realignment event, Foundation science personnel will survey the area and determine the boundaries of the new red and yellow zones, using procedure 823-1-alpha. Due to the necessity of maintaining auditory alertness, no personal music devices or radios aside from necessary equipment are to be allowed at the observation site. As of this date, SCP-823 has undergone 3 realignment events, recuring, resurveying of affected zones. Apparent range of red zone has increased in size by 5% during that time. Rate of expansion appears to be accelerating at a linear rate.
It has now become necessary to classify 823 as a Keter-class anomaly. Its rate of expansion and unpredictable nature have made containment more costly than could be predicted.
Are you unable to contain it, Director?
Not unable, but by designating it Keter, I can allocate more of my funding to...
There is no reason I see this as necessary. Your losses are in acceptable parameters.
But clearly it's...
Silence! This is our final decision, Director. You are not providing sufficient data for this proposal. Good day.
The expansion of the site indicates an evolving presence.
And what of its connection to the brides? 231 deaths and 7 injuries? 231-7?
That gives us no cause for alarm. It's most likely a coincidence.
I do not believe in those.
It's a lot more artistic than Dr. Buck's presentations.
Do you think Director Zolgamax will like it? I'd love to get my own office.
Right. Zolgamax can be hard to please.
So there's hope.
Sure, Gustav. Sure.